Hey folks, what's going on? Happy Friday. Yes, it is Friday. Happy Friday to all of you. I hope you had a great week and thank you for tuning in once again to the Young Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast. And I am your host, Angel. And I want to thank you again for tuning in, for downloading the audio. For those of you who are listening through the Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you could get your podcasts. You could check it out there, the Young Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast. Okay, so go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. I greatly appreciate you guys following, your support, man. I greatly appreciate it. I'm so excited to be here again because today I'm going to have another special guest, another young entrepreneur, man, with a great mindset, a mindset to help others. He has an amazing story, man, and I just connected with him recently. We'll be talking about his book. His name is Nathan, and Nathan has an amazing story. Like I said, man, and he has a book talking about the open-minded education, man. So listen, we're gonna be giving out the link below in the YouTube channel. You're gonna have the link to his Facebook and his social media accounts, and also his book. He's gonna be talking about that. So you guys go ahead and follow his book, purchase his book, and listen to it also on the audio. So with that being said, guys, you can also follow me. Just a quick announcement: follow me on Twitter under Angel Santos 75 and my Instagram under Angel Santos Podcast. Okay, so without further ado, man, let's go ahead and welcome Mr. Nathan himself. He is here today live. Hey, Nathan, how are you, boss?
Oh, living the dream. How are you, Uncle?
That's perfect, man. Thank you for being here on this Friday, man. I hope you had a great week. And we are here today because obviously you reach out, you send me a message, you want to be on this platform. And I've looked up your information and I'm really honored to see all the information that you have. You have a great story. You have your book, Open Minded Education, which you're going to get into a little bit later. But just so that the audience could learn more about who Nathan is. And again, I forgot how to pronounce your last name. How you pronounce the last name? Gavin-
It's Gavundian. Yeah, it's
Gavandian.
kind of a
Okay.
weird one.
Yeah, Nathan Gavandian, all the way from Idaho. All right, so
hmm
he's joining us live today. So thank you for your time, Nathan, and I appreciate it. But like I said, just for the audience purpose, they get to know who is Nathan. Just talk about briefly about your story. How was your beginnings as a young man? What were your dreams? What did you dream about when maybe you were in high school, when now going to college or etc.
Yeah, definitely. So, just to start things off, I was actually homeschooled, and so
Oh,
I was
that's right.
I was
Wow.
that weird kid, and so um, yeah, I definitely have a different story, but and altogether, I don't think it's too different, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so yeah, I mean, when I was young, I knew I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew
Okay.
I wanted to do something that allowed me to have a bit more freedom than I saw I guess most people have.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until after I went through a year of college that I decided to drop all my classes except for one and just take some time to figure out, okay, what do I really want to do with my life?
Wow.
Because up until this point, I had just, I'd had ideas. I knew I wanted to do something with communication or video, but I didn't know exactly where I was going with it.
Okay.
I'd heard different things, and you hear a lot of things, but you don't really know
Yeah,
what to believe or what's really you until you just kind of take the time and discover it.
exactly.
And so,
And you're like at a young age here, so you're like probably what, in your 20s at this
yeah,
time?
22 actually.
22. Wow. So that's good because usually at that age, either 22. I mean, I was one at 22. I was just thinking about buying my first car. Trying to live a life that you can't live, but you're just working a lot and all. But my mindset back then even wasn't about oh, what am I gonna do? All I thought was if I worked a good job and made some money and that's it, and pay bills. That's pretty much it. But you were on a different frequency.
Yeah, yeah, and I have my upbringing to kind of thank for that. My parents, and,
Okay.
that's a big. It was a big portion of
Yeah.
that, if not all of that, really. That and my drive. I think I've just naturally I have a drive to just always be improving.
Okay.
And I think most people do, to be honest. If I'm truly being honest with myself here, is I think everyone truly does. It
Yeah.
just, I think it's suppressed for some people.
Exactly.
And so, but yeah, I mean, at this time I was taking one class, and it was a religion class. I think, I'm a religious person, so it was a religion class, so it was really really chill, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
so it really allowed me the time to do some research, to do some studying, and I came across a lot of information on real estate investing,
Mm.
on entrepreneurship. If any of you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I'm sure you've read that,
Oh,
Angel.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Kiyosaki.
I've watched a lot of Robert Kiyosaki material, and a bunch of other, Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill, the classic personal development authors and speakers. And it was at that time when I realized, the lifestyle I want to live um, is not one where I should or need to go to college, uh,
Mm.
because with where I wanted to go, and where I want to go, and with what I want to do,
Yeah.
college wasn't the best route. And so for me, I took that time, and it was hard. I decided to drop out.
Wow.
And if you ask anyone who's dropped out of college, they'll tell you that, in those movies when you hear the record sound, like the record stoppage.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you tell
Yeah.
someone who dropped out of college, you hear like that record sound. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the nice, peaceful, chill music just stops, and it's
Wow.
like crickets. Um, and that's when it really comes into when I guess I really had to develop my mindset
Ah.
to really have a conviction in what I'm doing,
Okay.
and to know that my path is not the right path for everyone,
That's
but
right.
it's the right path for me. And so
Yeah.
after I have kind of, it's a work in progress, but after I came to that conclusion, it's been a lot easier
Of course. Okay.
since. Yeah.
So, so speaking of that, how do you get started as an entrepreneur? Like, in your opinion, what do you think someone, especially someone may be listening to this recording or watching this video, how do you get started? Like, that's the hardest thing. Anything
Mhm.
is hard to get started. Whether you get a job or a project, to get started is always the most challenging thing. So, as an entrepreneur, especially, how do you get started as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to read. The most
Mm,
successful people, the highest earners, read.
yeah, that's true.
Um, I think the two biggest things are read, and then find a problem you want to solve.
Okay,
Um, People won't pay you for anything but solving a problem.
right.
If you look at, the highest earning people, they've solved a problem that
Yeah,
maybe the people didn't even know they had. But I mean, that's kind of, looking at more, I guess, more from the big picture. But if you want to start, like, nitty gritty here, what you can do is really got to build your mindset,
that's
learn
right.
and build your mindset. Because you think about people that win the lottery, they go broke. Like,
Yeah,
and a lot of athletes that get a lot of, they get huge checks,
yep.
but they go broke shortly after. And it's like, okay, why is that? It's because, number one, the mindset, but also number two, they lack the knowledge of what to do with their money. They give it to a financial planner, and then they can kiss it goodbye.
Exactly. That's true, man. That's true. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is how to expand your mind, right? That mindset and your income. Because in your book, I like because in your book, you talk about how to, because other than the title itself is how to do what you love and make millions. I mean, just imagine anyone doing what they love, right? Doing
Mhm.
it, whatever you love to do and make millions out of it. So how did you come up with that? You like what? How did idea come about?
The idea really came from, well, to kind of back up a little bit here, the title of the book was going to be something along the lines of thinking outside the box.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
But then we're like, yeah, we don't really want to put a negative spin on things. We don't want to
Yeah.
kind of go to the whole idea that everyone's in a box, when in reality, I mean, most of us are, myself included. We're all in a box. It just
Of
depends on
course.
what kind of box you're in. But
Exactly.
anyways, the way we came to the idea was really just we just saw so many of our peers, and I still see it. So many of our peers and of our friends, they go into something that they don't really love
Mm.
because they think it'll bring them a lot of money.
Yep. True.
I have friends studying to be a doctor, friends, that are going to go into law or to be an accountant, and they do it because they think it's a stable job, and in many cases it is,
Yeah. Of course.
and there's nothing wrong with that. But what's so sad is seeing that they settle, or
Mm.
they forfeit their passion and what they love for something they think will be a better option in the end.
Yeah. Be secure. Like, oh, I got a secured
Hmm.
career, and I'm gonna sit in that comfort zone. Once they get in that comfort zone, their dreams don't become reality because they're not doing it for their dreams. They're doing it because it's a stable income.
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah.
I
So that
got
was
you.
kind of the basis of it, is just the idea that it's not necessarily what you're doing or what you decide to do, but how you're doing it.
Okay. Okay. Because I know you talk about like a question about abundant mindset, like to develop that abundant mindset. I know you mentioned reading books and whatnot. What else can entrepreneur or a young entrepreneur uh, develop that? How can they develop that abundant mindset?
Yeah, that's a great question. In terms of the abundant mindset, I think the first thing is just to understand it. A lot of people think, oh, you be an abundant person, like it's just kind of an elusive topic.
Yeah.
And so I think of the abundance versus lack mindset as something that's almost like survival, or like you're surviving or you're thriving, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to be thriving off the bat physically, with your living situation or your monetary situation. You don't need to be thriving off the bat temporally or in that sense to
Right.
to thrive in a mindset sense.
Okay.
But I'd say that one of the ways to develop it is, and many people talk about this, is starting with a gratitude journal.
Okay.
Um, Beginning with the idea that everything originates and comes from one source.
Okay.
Whether you believe it's the universe, whether you believe it's God, whether you believe it's, whatever you believe,
Right. Right.
you just you most excuse me, all people that are truly abundant believe that everything comes from one source. And so it's when you connect yourself with that one source
Okay.
that you can truly think and feel abundant.
Okay.
And so it's the art of being grateful for what you have, but also being grateful for all the good that's coming.
Okay.
And I'd say that's one of the biggest things you can do off the bat.
Okay, that sounds good, man. And I know you have with investment because what is your experience with investing? Like I know I don't know about maybe I'm real estate or not, but what have you learned as an investor? And I want to include the book as well because the book is an investment, right? Because it's you're depositing your knowledge, your experience in a book so it can help others. But talking about that investment, but also maybe on personal investments, like what is your thoughts about either personal investments or even investment in your own book? Because I want to get into that about the book and how you came out about it. But what have you learned about as an investor?
Yeah, exactly. I think a big, I guess one of my big starts with investing was just reading the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Okay.
Like I mentioned earlier, that really just, I guess, gave me the background of knowledge I needed to get started.
Yeah.
Um, but my main sights right now are going into real estate.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things with the market. You can say, "Oh, the market's super high right now,"
Yeah.
and it is. It is really high,
Yeah.
but it just depends on what you're going for. But yeah, I mean, doing that, hedging against inflation. Inflation's off the chain right now.
Okay.
Um, to be honest, yeah, like as far as the book goes, it mostly just gives a rundown of what different things are,
Okay.
and so we want to help people understand that, just the basics of okay, what
Yeah.
does it mean to be a real estate investor? How can I get started? There's a good portion on that, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, that's chapter 8, just supplementation with investments. And so
Okay.
I talked to a lot of people, and they're just wondering, how can I get started? I want to learn this stuff, and
Exactly.
I want to
That's
grow my
cool.
income, but how?
Yeah.
So it's really
So
just about. Sorry,
when
go
they
ahead.
go, yeah, when they go to your website here, because I have your website here, right, for the open minded education.com, and I have your website here. Because I see there's a button that says start now. So what can someone expect when they go to your website? Do you have anything like as far as like training or something that you do virtual or anything like that in reference to that?
Yeah, actually, so my brother and I were actually currently in the works of developing some online courses.
Okay.
Because one of the first things you can do in terms of getting into investing is to build your credit.
Yeah.
And I wish they taught that in schools. No, I know DeSantis over in Florida, they did something with, they're starting to teach financial education. But
That's
anyways,
true.
yeah,
Yes.
we're starting to develop some online programs. We haven't quite released them yet, um,
Okay.
but we're looking at launching that this summer. Actually, just some basics on getting your budget in order, so you kind of
Yeah.
set aside the money you're going to invest.
Okay.
So you can kind of get a better grip on things.
Yeah.
Um, Not only that, but building credit, setting goals is a big one that we're going to be working on, which many people, I guess, don't think it relates to investing, but in many ways it
Oh
does, and
yeah.
in every way it does.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree 1000%. I mean, you have to have, goals, even if it's short-term goals or long-term goals, but you have to have some goals, especially in real estate and whatnot. So, and speaking about the book, real quick, because I understand how your brother has to a role that he plays with you as
Hmm.
far as the book. How did that come about? With both of you came together with the idea?
We're both just passionate about freedom.
Mm,
Really, just passionate about freedom. We don't like the idea of people, I guess, just not having the freedom to do what they want when they want to do it.
yeah,
And we know a lot of people are thirsting for that.
right.
And so yeah, we just kind of just started talking, and just kind of came together and wrote down a bunch of lists of, like, this is an important topic for people to know. This is another one. This is another one. And soon enough, we had a book outline, and just just kind of
Wow,
fleshed out the book right there. So
that's
um,
good.
yeah, it's really just passionate about setting the human mind free. Um,
Okay,
yeah, that was really the big idea, and just
the big idea about it. And like you
exactly.
said, it's not thinking outside the box, but it's making you think about open-minded education, which is
Mhm.
awesome. How many chapters is in the book?
There's 10 chapters. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not very long. It's just 168 pages.
Oh, that's
Um,
good because I don't like those
yeah,
big old thick books that it takes you forever to read.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I mean, I
figured
like
we'd keep
reading
it.
books, but books that make sense and that they're short and brief. You're not too many pages.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's my younger brother, and so he's younger than I am, and our obviously, we are somewhat educated as far as things go, but it's not like a super intense vocabulary, pull up a dictionary kind of a read.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
I love
it's,
those books.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty easy to understand. We really, our target audience is people about our age, like,
Okay.
20s, maybe 30s, people that are looking to discover their passion, but also to get started in entrepreneurship or investing.
Hey, that's awesome, man. That's young entrepreneurs, man. That's awesome. So, and the book could be available, or it is available on Amazon, correct?
Yeah, yeah, it is on both Kindle and paperback.
Kindle. Okay, Kindle. I'm gonna have to check that out, man. Definitely check that out. I like that concept with the open-minded education and whatnot. And within the book, talk about finances and stuff like that, and how to make the freedom, financial freedom as well.
Yeah, yeah, a bit. Like, and again, it's mostly for people that are looking to get into it.
Yeah.
Um, we didn't want to do anything that's too much like, 1031 exchanges and real estate and all, like, super more
Yeah.
down the road things. Very likely we'll be producing more books, kind of a part two, next step
Oh,
kind of
okay.
thing. But right now, we just figured we'd start with this one just to give people some things, and a lot of it's just to introduce the concepts. And with a
Yeah.
lot of it, we say, okay, here's the concept. Now go do your
Okay.
due diligence, and if you really want it, you got it. Like go learn more. Um,
Exactly. Because if you're reading what you're reading, apply what you're reading.
mhm.
Apply what you studied. That's awesome. Because I was going to ask you that. What's the in the future if there's going to be another book, but you just mentioned it. So this is kind of like a rough draft of what's going to happen next.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Cool. That's awesome, man. Well, listen, man, I appreciate your time, and I'm definitely going to be looking into that book and whatnot, and definitely keep in touch with you for the next uh, chapter of your career and whatnot. So, good luck with everything, Nathan, man, and I appreciate your time. You've added a lot of value to this podcast, man. I definitely going to have the link below for that website for their book so that people I can we can encourage the people to go ahead and Amazon and get that book and read it, read it and apply it because I know it's going to help a lot of other people. So I appreciate your time, and anything else you want to say to some of those young entrepreneurs that maybe are having a hard time getting started? Any words of encouragement you want to say before we leave?
I guess I would just say something that I've been learning recently is um, don't major in minor things.
Okay.
Spend the majority of your time doing things that are effective as much as you can. Obviously, you're
Right.
not going to be perfect,
No.
um, but focus on things that matter most,
Yeah.
and just give it all you've got. Every book you read is a level up. So
That's right. That's right, man. So, guys, I encourage you, man, to go to Amazon, look it up there. I'm going to have the open-minded education .com website. I'm going to have the link on the description below. So, follow Nathan, man. Also, I know you have your Facebook and Instagram and Twitter account. So, look him up and follow his content because you got some great stuff out there, man. So, Nathan, my best of luck to you, man, and your brother. Much success, man, and blessings to you and your family. All right.
thank you so much. You as well.
Yeah, man. Thank you. You take care of yourself, all right?
All right, you too. Take care.
Thank you, Nathan. All right, folks. So there you have it, man. Something short, brief, but very, very necessary to hear, man. So listen, follow Nathan. I'm gonna have the link below, like I said, and whatnot. And you can go ahead and listen to that book. Listen in the Kindle and whatnot, and order in Amazon because that's something that very interesting to me. So, guys, before I leave, like I said, the audio download is gonna be available here shortly after the podcast stream is ended. But if you're listening, thank you for taking the time to download it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and whatnot. Also, as you guys may know, if you're into any natural supplements, I do invite you to go there on my website. There, these natural supplements with transfer factor for the immune system. So if you're into any immune system natural supplements, I invite you to go there on the website, check it out, give me some feedback on what you think about that. All right. So, guys, thank you again for joining this podcast. And before we leave, as usual, I do want to leave you with a positive note, positive scripture, one of my favorites. It's in the Proverbs 13:4, and it says, no matter how much a lazy person may want something, he will never get it. A hard worker will get everything he wants. All right. So there you have it, folks. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Young Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast. Stay blessed. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next episode. God bless you.